Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to do a friendship reading between two individuals, and this time is between Jisoo and Lisa. And I'll rant about it right now actually. So I think this time I will leave a timestamp so that you can just jump towards the actual reading, but right now I just kind of want to complain about the fact that in the previous friendship reading that I did, which was like a long time ago for me, you all were not complaining, but some of you were talking about a bully card in tarot, and I just want to clarify and make it very loud and clear that there is no bully card in tarot. There is not a specific card that will say this individual is a bully. Of course, anyone that is not showing is misusing their energy in a very negative way against others could be considered a bully. However, I will not be able to find that or see that unless it's very evident, and you will usually see that with the surrounding cards. And even then, I wouldn't necessarily call the person a bully unless I was looking for that. And of course, you will not necessarily hear that from me because I don't think like that. I don't think this person's a bully, this person's evil, this person's like an angel, a saint, or whatever. I don't think like that. We're all human, and of course there's a balance. We're not perfect. We're going to have things that we're very good at and things we're very bad at. And there's going to be some people that are going to be seen as great individuals that inside are like destroying themselves. That doesn't make them bad, evil, just makes them as someone that has problems that they have to deal with and learn from and develop and grow. That's all I'm saying. But I wanted to make that very clear because it kind of pissed me off to see that you guys were calling Lisa a bully, and then even more pissed off that your ignorance made you believe there's a tarot card that will explicitly say that someone's a bully. That is not the case. Having the King of Wands reversed and having the Swords of Wands reversed does not make you a bully. It just means that you're not ideally reaching that energy in the healthiest way, or you're aiming to develop into that energy, so you're not there yet. Doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. It really pissed me off. Now, with all of that said, let's jump into this friendship reading. So, I haven't done this one in a very long time, so I don't really remember my system, but I have a little paper with me that has like the stuff on it. So, let's just jump into it. So, let's see. So, Jisoo and Lisa. Let's get one card out to represent their friendship. The first card that we have is Water Creation. And then we're going to take out one card to represent Jisoo in general. And one card to represent Lisa. Lisa? Jisoo. Okay, now, are they? Okay, so right off the bat, their friendship has been represented by Water Creation. So that tells me that they both have a very good professional creative relationship, meaning that they're able to work together to make anything happen. And I do think that they are very good at bouncing ideas off from each other. Now, I'm not a BLACKPINK fan, so I don't know how people see them or how they physically tend to get along, if they even interact with each other. So I do feel that in this case, at least using the cards themselves, they both have an energy where they can easily bounce off ideas from each other. They can help each other. They can they may both feel very comfortably within their energies, so maybe their energies get along, if you want to put it that way. I do see that there's a lot of purity and wisdom. So if I'm correct, Jisoo's the oldest one in BLACKPINK and Lisa is the youngest one, so maybe that could be a little bit of it, as you know, when you're older you can give advice to the younger people out there, and when you're younger you can definitely learn a lot from not only yourself and other people around you, but of course the older people in your environment. So I do feel that there's like this wisdom that comes through. There's also this sense that they both seem to be very good at just relaxing within their energy. So I do feel that they both have a relationship where they can just enjoy the time together and relax and just be at peace. So this could also, like, now using this at a different extreme, you could have this sentiment and this energy and never interact with each other. What do I mean by that? You could have someone that calms you down, centers you, and you could both be in silent and in peace, but don't necessarily need to interact so much. So I'm not a fan, so I don't know how they get along. I don't know what you guys see. I don't know what perspective or what idea you guys have of them. However, in this case, I do feel that they're very good at creating anything new, so working in projects and putting their imagination and their ideas and their emotions into play is something that they both are very good at, and that's what their relationship is all about. Okay, so now let's see the cards that represent them. So for Lisa, we have the Princess of Cups reversed, so it's Pisces energy reversed, and then we have Death for Jisoo. So this kind of shows me that for Jisoo, she's all about transformation. The card that best represents her is someone that is constantly transforming and having this rebirth moment, meaning that she's constantly trying to become better, she's constantly transforming, she's constantly adapting and becoming better. So this kind of shows me, especially this Death card is a Pluto card. No, it's a Scorpio card. So this tells me that Jisoo likes to keep things very professional, and by that I mean that she likes to keep things to herself, and that's her defense mechanism. Like, she doesn't really like to talk too much about her personal life, or if she does, it's very mundane things. Like, it's things that don't really show like, it shows her personality, but it's not secrets. So I do feel that Jisoo's very good at keeping secrets, or she could be very good at keeping her own secrets to herself. So like, if there's something she doesn't want anyone to know about, she'll keep it to herself, because that's how you keep a secret. Don't tell anyone. But with Lisa, we have the Pisces card reversed. So I do feel that she may be still developing and learning how to use her intuition, how to work with her emotions, and how to be empathic and compassionate to other people. Because I do feel that one thing that Lisa has is that she focuses a lot on herself, that she doesn't really mind to look at other people, because she's too busy with herself and doing her own thing. So I do feel that Jisoo is Jesus. That's why someone got confused once. But I do feel that Jisoo is someone that could help, because we have two water cards, a Scorpio and a Pisces card. So this kind of tells me that they both and then we have water right here. I do feel that they connect in a very deep level. It could be through emotions, or it could just be that they just naturally understand each other somehow. So I do feel that the professional side of both of them kind of come out, and they both respect that, and they both understand it, and they can both learn from each other in a very good way. I do feel that there's more of a connection here than I saw in the previous friendship reading I did, because I do feel that there's like a mutual respect for each other, and there is this feeling where I kind of feel that these cards represent like someone that is guiding an individual and someone that's constantly learning as well. Because again, just because a card is reversed doesn't make you evil. It just means that you haven't embodied that energy. And since this is a Princess of Cups, it shows that that at least Lisa doesn't feel like she has reached the maturity level she wished she had, or she feels like emotionally she still is lacking a lot. Like, she may be of those people, I would know, that is constantly like avoiding their emotions, so just doesn't know how to express them. So sometimes she may feel things and be like, what does this mean, how does that work, and all of that. And I do feel that Jisoo, on the other hand, is someone that is constantly transforming. If things don't work out for her, change. If things are if she feels stagnant in her own energy, also change. So I do feel that change and transformation is something that Jisoo's constantly going through, and Lisa is still learning how to work with that emotional side of herself, and those sentiments that she's not familiar with. So let's see the next thing. How does Jisoo see Lisa? We have the King of Cups. Okay, that's funny. So this tells me that Jisoo sees the potential in Lisa as being able to be caring, nurturing, and very friendly to people, and someone that is able to express their emotions in a very healthy manner, that is able to say how they not necessarily say, but is able to show, this is how I feel, and it's able to work with their emotions. So Jisoo sees the potential in Lisa, and that's why she may see, maybe that's why Death is represented right here. She may be like a strict teacher, or loving yet very firm teacher to Lisa in life. And by that, I don't mean like she's literally being like, oh, so this is how your emotions work. It's just like, you know, the teachers that we get in our life. People that sometimes teach us by example, or sometimes they teach us by giving us advice. So how does Lisa see Jisoo? We have the Three of Winter. Okay, so with that Three of Winter, it shows that Lisa feels like, I mean, if I'm correct, Jisoo is a Capricorn and Lisa is an Aries. And if that's true, that means that their signs squares. Their signs square. Meaning that there's constant clash and tension between at least their sun signs. Everything else, I have no clue. But yeah, with this Three of Winter, it tells me that the Three of Winter is usually a card where you feel heartbroken, you feel like things are difficult, things are not going your way necessarily, and it's through emotions and thoughts. So, but yeah, heartbreak is the first word that comes up when you see the Three of Winter, because that's the equivalent of the Three of Cups. What the? The Three of Swords, not the Three of Cups. Ignore me right there. The Three of Swords. So what I'm feeling right here is a sense that, remember how I said that like a harsh teacher? So the way that Lisa sees Jisoo is the sense of constant heartbreak. So maybe I'm getting two things. One, Lisa could feel heartbroken in the sense of this harsh teachings, right? When you're constantly clashing against someone, and when you're constantly having this like tense relationship with someone, it could be because an individual is reflecting a lot of the things you don't want to see about yourself, or a lot of the things that are difficult for you, right? I mean that in the like in general, right? So for Lisa, that could be the case, right? She has met Jisoo, and it's constantly like feeling like constant challenges that are helping Lisa become better and grow, but it doesn't make it easier. Now, the other thing that I got is that Lisa could potentially see all of the difficulties and challenges that Jisoo is constantly going through. Now, I'm saying that because the Three of Winter could symbolize that Lisa is able to see the heartbreak and the difficulties that Jisoo constantly goes through, and that could be one of the things that is very prominent or very important. Like, it's like the surface thing that Lisa sees. Like, she could see right away how difficult things are for Jisoo. And maybe one of the things that I just kind of got randomly is that maybe Jisoo is an individual that's constantly happy, is okay with all the challenges that she goes through because she knows that she's going to learn from them and overcome them. But Lisa's able to see, okay, just because she's always happy and things doesn't mean that she has an easy life, doesn't mean that things are simple for her. And I do feel that that could be a point of admiration from Lisa. Let's see. How do they spend their time together? We have animals, companionship. So I do feel that the best way that they spend their time together is just being there for each other. I do feel that this card kind of symbolizes that whenever they need it, they're there for each other. You know how there's like therapy dogs, so you can pet them to feel better? That's kind of what I'm getting. It could be like they give each other a hug whenever they need it, or they talk to each other when they need it, or there's this natural support for each other. But one of the themes that I'm constantly getting for the reading is that the relationship is very natural. Like, they are not forcing anything to happen. It just kind of is what it is. And it kind of tells me that things just flow naturally. Doesn't mean it's easy, it just goes through. Like, they're not forcing each other to get along, they're not forcing the relationship to be good or bad. It just is what it is, and they both value it for what it is. So they're not forcing anything to happen, they're just allowing it to be. So I do feel that with this companionship card, there's this sense of earth. So they ground each other, they stabilize each other, and they help each other center themselves back to their own energy. So let's say one of them is going through a very rough time, the other one will step in and be like, okay, so like, how do you feel? What are you thinking? So I do feel that there's this sense of care and respect and grounding for both of them. So what does Jisoo like of Lisa? We have the Chariot, another water card. So we have Cancer energy right there, but it is also a card of movement. What does Lisa like of Jisoo? I just dropped like half the deck. Hold up. I guess there's a lot Lisa has to say, or my hands are just not grasping it. Okay, there you go. Finally, we have the 7 of Summer reversed. Ugh. My hands were hurting from shuffling. These ones are too big for my hands, so it hurts after a while. Okay, enough whining for my part. Let's read. What Jisoo likes about Lisa is the Chariot. It's represented by the Chariot, so it's this Cancer energy. So it's funny, right? Because if you look at this Princess of Cups reverse, you will think that since Lisa's being represented by like a Pisces card, it shows that it's not in its reverse. You'll think that Lisa is not embodying this very empathetic and like if Lisa had like no sense of taking care of the world and being there for people, right? You'll think, oh, she's learning to do that. She's growing into that energy, learning how to be a true Pisces type of energy that is intuitive, friendly to everyone, because there's this sense for Pisces is they're usually, you know, they're the 12th sign of the zodiac. It usually is kind of like someone that wants to help everybody, and that's kind of their natural state, wanting to help other people, right? But with Jisoo, we have 2 cards that represent Cancer. They're both water cards, and one is a Major Arcana and one is a mature King of Cups. It kind of shows that Jisoo sees a lot of potential in Lisa, but she also sees like this very caring and nurturing and motherly. Okay, you don't, just because you're nurturing doesn't mean that you're motherly, because I do feel that Lisa has a lot of masculine energy, so it's more of like a Capricorn type of energy when I mean nurturing. So it's someone that is able to provide. It is someone that is able to listen and be like, you did great, son, you know. and not necessarily the you can do it, sweetie, you know what I mean. Like, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, this is 2 Cancer cards right here, right off the bat. So the idea or the perspective or the view that Jisoo has of Lisa is what she likes about Lisa. So the potential that Lisa has of being this very nurturing individual, this very friendly in a person, someone that can express how they feel very well, and they're very mature with their emotions. So it kind of tells me that at least from Jisoo's perspective, Lisa is not someone that easily gets emotional or doesn't allow her emotions to get in the way of her everyday life, right? So what's the other thing that I'm kind of getting? I do feel that at least with this Chariot card, right? One of the things that Jisoo likes about Lisa is that she feels that Lisa is very good at just going down her own path. So whatever a goal Lisa has, she just goes for it, and that's something that Jisoo really, really likes. She just takes action and continues moving forward. Now, from Lisa's perspective, what she really likes about Jisoo is the 7 of Cups reversed. So I think it's very similar too, right? Because the 7 of Cups upright usually means someone that has, it could be something in relation to the unknown, or it could be a card where you have a lot of options that you could go through and take. However, with it being reversed, I feel that one of the things that Lisa really, really likes from Jisoo is that Jisoo just, instead of distracting herself from all of the other things she could be doing, Jisoo just focuses on one thing as well. So I do feel, because this card kind of tells me that, because I'm thinking kind of like, you know, in the Happy Tarot, I don't know if you guys have seen it, the Seven of Cups is represented by like a little kid looking at a vending machine that has like 7 different options like she could pick from. And the fact that this one's reversed, it kind of tells me that Lisa really admires how Jisoo just keeps her mind on one thing and does not distract herself from other things. Whatever. So I do feel that it's very similar. They both admire very similar things from each other, I feel. The other thing that I'm kind of getting is that Lisa may also really like how even though there's many options and offers for Jisoo, she doesn't even notice them. So she could find that very, very cute, how Jisoo may not even notice all the great things that are out there for her. Could be. I don't know. Oh wait, wasn't it the card? Oh. I put little numbers and I'm ignoring them. So what has Jisoo learned from Lisa? How many cards are there? 3. Okay, I'll take the bottom to represent those cards. We have the 5 of Wands. Okay. 5 of Wands. Oh goodness. I struggle so much to just grab these cards. There you go. Okay. And what has Lisa learned from Jisoo? Nine of Summer. The 9 of Cups. Okay. So I think they have learned very good things from each other. So one of the things that Jisoo has learned from Lisa is this 5 of Wands energy. So she has learned how to be a fighter, how to go through any obstacle, through any encounter. It feels that it makes sense, actually, now that I think about it, because Jisoo is represented by the Death card, which I said meant a lot of transformation and constant change and constant this and that, a constant rebirth. So a lot of things that Jisoo has to constantly let go to allow for new things to come through and to allow herself to become better and adjust into and adapt as well. So I do feel that Lisa may have helped Jisoo learn how to be a fighter, how to because just because you're constantly going through challenges doesn't necessarily mean you know how to go through them, or doesn't mean that you can, like, you have learned how to adapt through all of that difficulty. If anything, if you're constantly being challenged by life, you could eventually just get tired of it and want to give up and be like, life just fucking sucks. However, I do feel that with Jisoo, that's not the case. Why? Because she has learned how to be a fighter, and she may have learned a lot of Lisa. And I think it could be the emotional maturity, or at least a potential that Jisoo sees in Lisa's way of dealing with her emotions and dealing with that aspect of herself. Because remember, the card that represents both of them is a water card, and a water card is, of course, the water element, which is our emotions, our intuition, our creativity. And this person feels very wise, peaceful, and pure. So I do feel that they both have a connection where they can both be emotionally very stable and very happy and very satisfied. So I do feel that Jisoo learned how to be a fighter within her own life and how to take action, because we have a lot of water from Jisoo's part, so, and also from Lisa, but with this fire card, it tells me that Jisoo learned how to take action, how to dream big, and how to fight for what she wants, or fight against the current if necessary. Because you can see this guy going against the current of forces like that are going this way, right? So it kind of shows that Jisoo learned from Lisa how to fight and how to achieve her dreams and how to make things possible. That kind of energy. Now, what has Lisa learned from Jisoo? And that is the 9 of Summer, which is the 9 of Cups. So Lisa learned how to be satisfied with life, how to emotionally be content, how to be satisfied, and learn that dreams come true. So if Jisoo is constantly fighting through these challenges, there's a chance that Lisa learned that anything is possible, learned how to maybe be optimistic, or learned how to be happier with life, or learned how to be a lot more emotionally stable, especially if Jisoo saw a lot of potential within Lisa to be this King of Cups. Because one of the things that you have to think about is that the card that represents Lisa is the Knight of Cups, which is this card. In this deck, that's what that card represents, right? But it's reversed. So Lisa doesn't even see herself like a teenager level of maturity with her emotions. However, Jisoo sees all of this potential because she sees Lisa as a mature King of Cups and as a Chariot, which both are Cancer energy, right? So a cardinal sign, a sign of change, and an initiator sign of emotions, right? It's a card that knows how to work with their feelings to actually become a tool to empower them and take action and create change. So I do feel that Lisa has learned how to be a lot more positive thanks to Jisoo. So that's good. That's good. Now let's see our last card. Why did they meet each other? Oh my goodness, this is so nice. Okay, so the last card that we got is Hearth or Comfort. Now, this card kind of, it's like, now I understand those readers that are like, I love confirmation from spirit. I get it. It feels good. It feels good to be right. You know? Anyway. But this card is kind of like the embodiment, or like the middle ground of these two cards, right? Because we have animals, which is the loyal companion of this little baby, and then we have water, right, which is like emotions, right? And I'm saying that because Hearth, it's about comfort. So I do feel that with them is having emotional security, feeling physically grounded and safe and comfortable. I do feel that that's a very big theme in their relationship. This type of friendship is the comfortable type of relationship. It's the type of relationship you want in your life to feel like things will get better, or to go to when things are very out of whack and things are very unstable and uncertain and there's a lot of unknowns. This is a type of relationship you definitely want to have if you want to have hope again and have faith that things will get better and stuff along those lines. So this card is like, they're both very loyal to each other and they're very loyal to their friendship. So we have an 11. An 11 is kind of like when you have a 1 and a 1 and then a 2 when you add it up. So that kind of tells me that they're both individuals doing their own thing, that the reason that they met was so they could come together and help each other balance each other. So I do feel that this is like the best example I can give you as to why we have people that are constantly challenging us, and that's without them doing it on purpose. Right? This is what I meant by like, this is a very natural relationship. It just, even though it's not the easiest relationship, because again, there's tensions, there's constant clashing from each other, especially because they square, at least their sun signs square, if I'm correct. Now, I did not double check if they, like, when their birthdays were, so I have no clue. Again, I'm not a blank, but I like to read for them because why not? Right? But that's why they're both individuals that are doing their own thing. However, this is like the strict, firm, but still loving type of relationship, right? It's the one where it's like, wait, why would you even do that? And then the other person's like, because of this, and that. Why else? Why wouldn't you do that? And then it's like, they both open up their minds because of how differently they think. And then they help each other by constantly doing their own thing. So this is kind of like, when you set the example and you're like, oh, so that's how you do it, and you're like, oh wow, I never thought that was a way of solving this issue or solving this problem, or you know, they are able to like do a lot of problem solving, and that's because they're learning from each other, and that's helping them be a lot more open-minded. I do feel that the reason they met was to be of comfort to each other, to be very loyal to each other, and to create this comfortable place that is secure and protected by. So I do feel that they're helping each other by staying safe, by staying comfortable, by staying grounded, and they're helping each other by creating this safe zone for both of them. Now, one of the things I wanted to mention is that they both have a lot of water cards. They have water element here, 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 and here. Now, the other thing that we have is 1 air card, 2 fire, and then 1 earth. They literally have only 1 earth and 1. So they might not talk much to each other, and they might not physically express to each other how they feel within the relationship, but they definitely feel it though. They definitely do. So I just wanted to mention that, because when you're reading tarot, you do have to keep in mind what it is not there. So if you have a bunch of fire, you may want to keep in mind what's the reason that you don't have the other elements there, right? It could be that the person's it's out of balance, or it could be that they're just leaning more towards one element than the others, and that gives you information. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I was pointing that out. They don't really have earth and air, so that kind of shows that they don't have much of a physical relationship. They don't have much of a let's talk about our ideas type of relationship. They definitely feel though. They definitely feel the depth and the importance of a relationship, and they do seem to have a very healthy relationship, even if at first you see like all the challenges that they're constantly going through, right? It's not bad, it just is what it is, you know. Now I kind of want to continue talking about this card, because I do feel that there's this very strong loyalty, and that the other thing that I kind of got with this card is that they both have to like put effort into making this relationship work. So what I mean by that is, if there's some misunderstanding, clear it up. If there's things that they disagree with, talk about them. If there's things that it's not like, that's what I meant by it flows naturally, but it's not easy. So to some people that means that it doesn't flow, not like it doesn't flow, but it does, right? Because it's like a relationship that is meant to be, and it's going through the course that it has to go through, even if it's not easy. And it's not easy is what I mean by like challenging and stuff, right? So it's this feeling of they both have to, like, for this relationship to work, they both have to put their constant effort to make sure it does. Because again, since they're constantly clashing and challenging each other, that makes it kind of difficult. And some people could take that as a sign of, oh, we're not meant to be together, we're not meant to get along, so let's just go our separate ways. But it could also be that that's just naturally how the relationship's going to be. You know how sometimes some people could have friendships where you're constantly like bickering with each other, or you're constantly disagreeing about things, but that doesn't mean you don't get along. It doesn't mean that the individuals at play are evil or bad. It just means that you see things very differently. But it could be a very interesting relationship, not necessarily easy to manage, because but just putting that out there. But with all of that said, I will leave this here. Thank you for everyone that watched this video. I hope you learned something from this, or if not, I hope that you found this entertaining and fun to listen to. And thank you so much for all the love and support you've been giving my videos. I hope that you are able to I understand that you guys will have your own interpretation of things, but try to be nice about it in the comments and very respectful with each other. Again, you may encounter very challenging relationships out there, but you can definitely learn from them, Anyway, love and healing from my part to you, and see you on the next one, whenever that is, however that is, and bye. Yeah.